Hello friends and welcome to Knowledge by Nature. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a flip through for the Earth, Science, and Astronomy for the grammar stage. And this is by Classical Science. So if this is something you're interested in, stick around. Welcome or welcome back. If this is your first time here, I am a homeschool mom to a third grader. We love all things books, homeschool, and sharing our journey with you. And if that is something that you're interested in, I would love if you consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up. Before we get too far in, I do want to let you know that Classical Science did send me these sets right here, the teacher guide and the student workbook, at no cost to me, but I will say that I was a customer of Elemental Science before I was gifted this. We have used Sassafras Science in the past, which I will post right here. And this year they sent both Sassafras Science and this one because I was very, very interested to see what this was like. And as we all know, there are different seasons in our life where one thing may fit better than the other. So I know sometimes when somebody says that they were gifted something, you may just automatically kind of click off that it's not going to be honest, but I will say that this is an honest opinion on what I'm thinking about it, and I hope that I'm able to help you know if this would be a good fit for you. Now, I will say that we decided to start with this one this time instead of the Sassafras Science because, one, I just wanted to try something just a little bit different. So what you get with this set is a teacher's guide and a student workbook. So this is what they sent me. And then you need two other resources, and these I purchased. I think I maybe found these on eBay. I can't remember if these were eBay or Amazon. Either way, they are the DK First Encyclopedia editions of both the Earth and Space. This is broke up into two sections, Earth and Space, and so you will need both of these for it. I don't know if you could find something that maybe was a different version. These weren't too inexpensive. It says it was $16.99 on the back, but I know I did not pay that. I really think I maybe got these for $16 total, if I am remembering correctly. And I really don't know if I am because I bought a lot of stuff between then and now. So you will need these because they use this as the spine. Just in case you haven't seen this at all, I'm just going to go ahead and flip through a little bit of all of it. So we have the teacher guide for Earth, Science, and Astronomy for the grammar stage. Classical Science gives you a nice little startup guide about, I love that they kind of give you in a nutshell of what you're going to be doing, the things that you're going to need. So right here, you're going to need the student materials. It says that you can purchase either the Earth and Science Astronomy for the grammar stage student workbook or the lap booking templates. We have the workbook, as I mentioned before. It does say get a glimpse of these options on pages 8 through 9. So let me just show you that. Just so you can see a quick difference is here's the student workbook where they already have like these pages set out with things that you fill out. And then the lap booking templates, it says use the lap booking templates to review the concepts learned, or you can have the student create each one in lieu of completing the student workbook. So it comes with like overview sheet, lap book cover, mini book templates, the coloring pages. And so depending on the age level or the amount of hands-on crafty things, you might want to decide between these two. I don't think it's at all necessary to do both of these. I think it's kind of an either or, unless that's just your thing and you want to do them all. Here are the two spines that you're going to need, and so it does say the 2018 and the 2016 edition. I think I did that. Let's look. So it does look like I got the 2018 edition of the Earth Encyclopedia and the 2016 edition of the Space. It said you can also purchase the Who Was Neil Armstrong. I did not do that, but I plan on borrowing it from the library. Then we have different links here to go along with that biography of Neil Armstrong. Then we have our demonstration supplies, which I think is amazing. It's one of the things that I love about classical science is they give you a whole page of the whole year's demonstration kit. So let me go to page 16 and show you that really quick. This was one of the things that I noticed right away when I used Sassafras Science was that they tell me everything I need for the whole year. And I think that's really awesome. If you are that forward of a planner, I'm not that forward of a planner, but I do like to see all of this right here. I love that. So that is on that page right here. And then it says how it works. So how it works is each week you and your elementary student will do the following. You'll read the assigned pages out of one of your encyclopedias, and then you will do the weekly demonstrations using the scripted introduction. If that's something that is interesting to you, it is scripted, which is nice. And then you're going to write down what the students have learned and seen in a way what is appropriate for their skills. So either you can write this down, the student can write this down, depending on the age of your child or what level they are on writing. You can either write down what they say they have learned or they can make little notes. It has optional memory work, library books, and STEM activities if you want to dig deeper into each topic, which I love that they give you that flexibility. And then we have a more detailed explanation of components in the lesson. So let's keep going through here. And let's look at the table of contents. This will let you know what is going to be covered in each lesson. So we have our Earth features. So you start with Earth. It's kind of split into 2 units. Even though you see multiple units, you have this Earth unit and then you have this space unit. And if you are a unit lover, you really, really may love this. So we start out with Earth features, and you see that we have 9 weeks here where we're talking about earthquakes, volcanoes, islands, all the way down to maps. And then we have Living Earth unit, which is down here where we're talking about ecosystems, biomes, the water cycle, climate, seasons, all of that kind of stuff. So we have 18 weeks of the Earth. Next, we're going to start our solar system unit where you will start using this space encyclopedia where the first unit, you're going to be utilizing this book the entire time. Now, for the first 12 weeks of the space unit, you will go with the solar system and the sun. You know, you're going to go through all of your planets, and then you're going to talk about black holes. Then the next set is stars and space, where we're talking about stars and the constellations and things like that. Now, again, you can modify this to be what you want it to be. If you want to start with space first, start with space first. I don't see where there's any issue with starting here versus here. Like I said, it's very unit based, and I am really, really, really liking this so far. We have our appendix templates where we have like the blank world map, the biome posters. A lot of the templates and the things that you're going to need are in the back of this book, where we also have glossary and additional library book lists. Up next just gives you a little peek at the teacher's guide, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of skip most of this. Since I'm going to be giving you a walkthrough of the teacher guide, I'm not going to go too far into this, but I will move this over so that you can see the weekly topic, 2 scheduling options, reading assignments, memory work, additional resources, related scientific demonstrations, and then we have coordinating unit projects, optional STEM activities, notebooking assignments, relevant vocabulary, and review sheets. Here we are again at the either student workbook or the lap booking templates that we looked at earlier. A list of all the topics covered in this program, and an introduction to the 3rd edition. So there has been updated over the past 10 years, it says, and so those have also come to add in different like references and things like that, which are really nice. There is further information about the reading assignments, the memory work, additional resources, the do section, the unit projects. It just is kind of going through everything that it talked about in the teacher's guide a little bit thorougher, and just walking you through as the teacher on what you could do or maybe should do or what they think maybe works best. But again, it's open to what works best for you. Here we are at our supplies needed again for the week. And then it ends right there with our supplies where we start with our first unit of Earth Features unit. This is kind of breaking down, here is breaking down the whole first 9 weeks for you. Again, the books that you're going to need, the sequence of study, the poems that we're going to memorize is all right here, as well as in the back of the student book. The supplies that you're going to need for the first 9 weeks. So they're showing you multiple times of what you need. So it's awesome. You're going to usually find it very quickly. And then we have the vocabulary that's going to be covered in this first 9 weeks. So here we are at week 1. Now, every single week is set up the same. So that is what is awesome is once you kind of get the hang of it, you're just going to know what it is like. The first thing that I want to show you here is they give you 2 ideas of a schedule. They have a 2-day schedule and a 5-day. Well, guess what? I don't do either one. I kind of make a Mod Podge, and usually we have a 3-day. That is the beauty of homeschool. You make it what you want. So I like to delve in and add a few more of those extra things, but I don't want to draw it out over 5 days. So I kind of take these and I make my own. But if you want to do a 2 days, first it says we're going to read a look at the Earth, work on memorizing the 7 continents poem, do the scientific demonstration, which is the model Earth, and then we're going to add information about the inside of the Earth to the student's notebook or lab book. Complete the demonstration sheet. Day 2, we're going to read Our Planet, which this reading section is again out of this first encyclopedia. Then we're going to choose 1 or more of the additional resources to read from this week, work on the model Planet Earth project, or complete the continents project, or don't do anything if you don't want to. And then add the information about the Earth to the notebook or lab book. Define continent. This can be added in, like make this your writing work or your copy work if you want, and kind of combine some things into one, which is nice. Then we have another option for work on the Earth Features weekly. Again, all of this is broken out, just it's expanded for the 5 days. So you're having shorter periods of time where we kind of like to sit down for maybe an hour or an hour and a half, and we like to do science just a few days a week versus little burst of science throughout 5 days. One thing that kind of hiccuped me a little bit at the beginning is that if you'll look right here on day 1, it says read Our Planet. Up here, if you look at day 1, it says a look at the Earth. So you start differently if you're following this one versus that one. Let's real quickly go to 2. And you can see that it doesn't do that here. Or even on week 5. Or even on week 8. So I think this was maybe a boo-boo. I don't know, because it's not like that. I don't think it's like that anywhere else where they're not matching. So I think there was just a little mix-up here. Possibly, I don't know. And so because it wasn't in order, it was out of order here. And so for my like mental checklist, it was kind of weird because I was actually right here, a look at the Earth. I did this. And so if I'd have been thinking, I'd have just flipped it and it wouldn't have been so hard. But you know what? The first week is just challenging sometimes. So I'm just going to shrug it off and we're going to be okay. Because it did work out just fine. All right, so day 1, we did a look at the Earth, which was actually right here for me. So I did pages 8 through 9, and I will just show that to you. So pages 8 through 9 was here, where we have a look at the Earth. We talked about all of these things. We talked about the layers, and we just read all of this sheet and just answered any extra questions that she might have had. Then, so we did our reading section, where I would ask these questions here. What are the 4 main parts of the Earth? What did you find interesting? Can you tell me at least 3 of the 7 continents? Then our next thing was to work on memorizing the 7 continents poem. And we actually did not work on that day one. We worked on it the next day. And then it said, do the scientific demonstration of model Earth, which we did and was super fun. So it gives you step-by-steps on what you need to be able to make this model Earth. I mean, it literally tells you to roll out a ball that is about 1 inch across. So that is what we did. We actually did two, because she wanted one that she didn't have to cut in half, and then she wanted one that went with the demonstration so that we could cut it in half and see the different layers. So that is what we did. We created two, and this was the first day that we did it. So this took a little bit of time, so that's why we didn't go ahead and do any of the extra memory work or any books like that on the first day for us. So then day two, we come to read our planet, which is right here at the top for me, says pages 6 through 7. So pages 6 through 7 is we read all of this. We did the little activity in this where she was a picture detective and she went through all of the physical geography pages and found each of those items. Up next was we went ahead and we did work on memorizing the 7 continents poem. And we actually found a really good one that we liked on YouTube, and I will put that right here because it was just really catchy and she was able to memorize it a little bit better than she was liking the poem that was in here. So the poem that is in here is right here. And so we did read through this together, but we found the fun song on YouTube and it puts them in order, and so it was just really fun for her, and so that's what we used to memorize the 7 continents. I do want to go back just a little bit. So here, if we wanted to, we could have made an edible Earth. We did not do that, but it's something that you can do, which would be really fun, and it has a website directions here for doing that. Here is a unit project, and this is one that is going to take about 3 weeks to complete, and we are actually going to start that this week. So we actually have taken week 1 and stretched it out. If you catch one of my next videos where I do a 1-month update, you'll know that since we got back from our trip, it's been a little sporadic on our schooling days. So I'm just giving ourselves grace as we are starting this first month, and we stretched 1 week into 2 weeks. So even though, again, I've modified the schedule more. Here is another project where they give you a little continent song that you can go here. But like I said, we ended up finding one that we really liked. And then we have the notebooking section. So lots of different options. If you have a child that likes to color, you can get the coloring pages book from the grammar stage, which we don't have. You have your lap booking options. You have your student workbook options, which I will show you in just a moment. Here is the vocabulary that we worked on, which was continent. Again, she could copy this if I have her do that. And then we have the weekly review, which we're going to have in the student workbook. And that is the week 1. And so you can see it follows the same sort of format again. It's just the new topic, and it just goes each and every week. In the back of the book, this is where you can find additional library book list. So again, if you are a really good future planner and you want to put a bunch of books on hold at the library, here's everything that you're going to need for week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way until the end of the units. So it's all right there. Here is the glossary. So this is all of the vocabulary words that they're going to be covering throughout this entire unit. Here are a few templates. So if you want to print out or make a copy of this, here is a 2-day week schedule. Here's the 5-day week schedule. And that way you can kind of write your own. And here, if I wanted to, plan our 3 days, I could so do that. Here is a project worksheet, a constellation page. So all of these are the resources that you're going to need throughout the units, and they're all right here in the back of your teacher's guide. So that is the teacher's guide. Let's jump in and take a quick look at the student workbook. These are all going to be blank forms for your child to fill out. We do have the table of contents again, just like we saw at the beginning. It gives you the little peek inside the student workbook as far as what each of these pages are meant to do and how you could use them. I'll go ahead and show you the few things that she's done here. So she did her model of the planet Earth with all of the layers, and then she wrote a little sentence here about what she learned. She doesn't always like to write a whole lot of stuff, so I just let her write whatever she wanted to on that one. The day that we were working on the continents, I had found this little coloring sheet on Crayola.com, so I just had her color code them because that's what she wanted to do, and so she decided that Australia would be yellow, North America would be red, and I just had her color code them and do that. Here is a little section where I asked her what the 7 continents were, and so she verbally answered all of these from biggest to smallest. Again, this is thanks to the YouTube song. And then I wrote them down for her. I also asked her what the inside of the earth layers were, and I listed them for her. She had already had a big writing assignment, so I didn't find it necessary to have her write these things, but I did want to go ahead and acknowledge that we had done this section. And then I asked her if there was one thing that really stuck out in her mind for this lesson, and she said that we actually live on the crust. So we did that. Now for our demonstration, I have a picture here, so I'm just covering this up. This was our model that we made, and so I asked her what were all of our tools, and she listed out the things that we used to make these. I asked her what the method was that we did, and so I wrote that down for her. I took a picture of her with the little models that she made, and I attached it into the book. I have a little sprocket printer, so I just print that out and stick it in the book. And then I said, what is your insight on this lesson? And she said that part of the inner is called the mantle. So again, this is just her own little scrapbook. And so you can see they're all blank and there's different outcomes. So when we do the demonstration on the earthquake, it's going to be what was our tools, our method, and then after light shaking, after moderate shaking, after lots of shaking. So that's really fun that you can add different things. If they feel like writing, write it down. If they don't, skip this. And you might not even have to have this. If you have a smaller one that is for sure not going to want to write any of these things, maybe look at getting the coloring book. That might be really, really good. Now let's look at what else is in the student book. All right, so all of this is, again, we have our earth and our space on this side, and then we get to the glossary section. This is where they can write the definition for each individual vocabulary word that we studied. So this week we did continent, so I will probably have her come in here and write the continent. I don't know that I will have her do this every week, but I think it would be a good time if I didn't already have her do a lot of writing. That would be a great copy work section for her to do. And then we come over here to the next section, which is memory work. This is where you're going to find any of the memory work that you're going to have for any of these units. We have the different life cycles, the poems, just a few different little things, not too many on that. And then we have review sheets where we kind of have a test maybe, or I like review sheet better, where we're just reviewing what we learned, which is we're going to match the following parts of the earth with this description. So she will match those. I like that it's not a whole lot of writing, that it is more circle true or false and match it. It looks like for each of these, it's mostly a matching with one little writing section for each review. Now you can choose to use these or you can choose not to use them. Maybe you want to use them on one week and you don't want to use them some other weeks. You decide that. So that is the end of the student book. One thing super quick is this is the coloring pages. I think this is just a separate purchase that you will find from Classical Science. So I know you can get on and you can get the lap booking templates. This may be just a download that you can get as well. So if you didn't want to have to like actually buy the book, you could maybe purchase just a PDF. But this would be really, really great for those younger elementary ones that just don't need a whole lot of this information. So if I had started this in kindergarten, I definitely would not have gotten these things. This could even have been a really fun addition for first grade, and even now she might enjoy it some. But yeah, definitely I would look at these 3 options before you purchase it and just see exactly, get online and see. These are like little file folders. You open up you get a file folder, a manila file folder, and then you like copy and paste a lot of stuff. So definitely check out their website if you're interested in the lap booking template. It is really, really neat, but for me, it's just a few extra steps that I don't really have time for in my day, where this works just a little bit better for us right now. And again, this would be a really fun addition for anybody that really is very artsy or likes to do a lot of coloring. So I hope I ended up covering everything. If I didn't, please leave a comment down below. I will be happy to answer anything that I can and hopefully get you an answer. And be sure and give me a thumbs up if you found this helpful, and consider hitting that subscribe button and follow us along. So I'll see you in my next one. Bye!